Hey, Shalom. All praises to Yahweh, Ba'ashim Yahweh Shai, Ba'ashim Kakadash. It is your brother, Bishop Thumb, back at you with another video. In this video, I'm going to go over the Esau, the beast, fighting against what the world calls UFOs, which are the angels, Yahweh Shai and the angels. And the elder, Barak from LA, send me this video article right here that you see on the screen. So we're gonna play this, and I got a couple other videos to play, whatever scriptures come to mind, and then we're gonna wrap it up through the Spirit of the Lord. And if I didn't say it, all praises to Yahweh, Ba'ashim Yahweh Shai, Ba'ashim Kakadash, a double honor to the apostles, Shalom to the elect out there. So let's play this video. If I can get it to play today. Let's go. I might not be able to get it to play. If not, that's okay.
For businesses of all sizes, there are a lot of choices when it comes to your internet and technology needs. When you choose Comcast Business Internet, you choose the largest, fastest, reliable network. You choose advanced security for total peace of mind. And you choose a next generation 10G
Let's go, baby.
Always improving, getting faster.
These commercials get longer and longer, boy.
More intelligent to keep you ready for today and tomorrow. Choice is clear. Make your business future ready with the network's most innovative company.
Don't get an option to skip it. Come on, man.
Possibilities.
Station host Abby Hornacek is here with more. So tell us more about George Van Tassel.
Yeah, well, see, people have always had this fascination of life beyond our own planet, since our solar system is so expansive, right? Now, George Van Tassel was a great way to start this series because his story really was the impetus to people sharing their own stories. He was back in the 50s, he believed that he was contacted by interplanetary beings that then gave him the idea to build this device that would help lengthen the lifespan of a human being.
Okay, I thought they're gonna go into some. I saw her and I was like, okay, she gonna sit there and spit some knowledge, but yeah, they're talking BS. But basically what this article is about, let me just read it. It's probably more edifying if I read it. It says, Pentagon officials said in a draft document last week that aliens could be visiting our solar system and releasing smaller probes like missions conducted by NASA when studying other planets. A draft research by author Sean Kirkpatrick, the director of the Pentagon's All-Domain Anomaly Resolution Office, AARO, and Abraham Loeb, chairman of Harvard University's Astronomy Department, was released on March 7th and focuses on the physical constraints of unidentified aerial phenomena. So that's a new term for UFO, or UAPs, unidentified aerial phenomena. Okay, and they got this pretty little picture here, whatever. An artificial interstellar object could potentially be a parent craft. And if you've been paying attention to the news, they've been talking about this for a while now, for at least a year or two, about that they've been observing a large craft, what seems to be a large craft the size of a planet, approaching the Earth. And what they're doing is they're planting seeds out there because they're getting people ready for the angels, but they're calling them aliens because they're the devil, of course. And they're getting ready for. See, what they need to do is they need to get the people on their side. So whenever they plan to stage this war against the Lord and the angels, and we know they're gonna do it. I mean, we're gonna go into the scriptures to prove it. But just like any other time when they wage war, they need to sway the people they need to sway the people's opinion on their side, so they're for them and not against them. And they do that for every war that is engineered. They use the news media to get the citizens or the public on the side of the United States to wage the war. So it's the same thing with this war that they're waging on the angels. So it goes into all of this. Ex-Navy pilot who's seen UFOs in flight calls for investigations of aerial phenomena. We need to be curious. Okay. And let's go straight to the scriptures. Let's bring one out. Now, this is a scripture that misinterpreted many a times by the churches. And I'm gonna go jump straight to the point. Now it speaks about the woman here. You should just read this at home. The woman is represented by Israel. That's the great wonder in heaven, was a woman clothed with the sun. This is the nation of Israel. The sun and the moon represents the wisdom and understanding given to her, to the nation, by the Most High. Verse 2 proves, and she being with child cried. Okay. So it goes here, verse 3, there appeared to be another wonder in heaven, and behold, a great red dragon having 7 heads and 10 horns and 7 crowns upon his head. And that goes into NATO. And this is why I put the word beast in the title, because NATO is part of that, forms that beast. And NATO, the beast and NATO, they're going to fight against the Lord and the angels. Now, we always bring out 2nd Ezra, the 16th chapter, where it talks about the Lord, or the Lord gathering the nations to the battle of Armageddon. Okay, so let's read down. Here's verse 7. This is what I want. And there was a war in heaven. Michael and his angels fought against the dragon, and the dragon fought and his angels. So that's not talking about a war between Satan, the spiritual demon Satan, and Michael the archangel, and Satan getting kicked out of heaven to earth. It's not what that's talking about. This is some allegory. This is symbolism. It's going into high-level warfare. It's talking about the so-called UFOs, which are the angels, battling Esau with his angels. In other words, the NATO, the EU, the beast, they're all going to join forces to fight against Yahushua, Michael the archangel, and the other angels. They're going to wage war against them. And they already have a system in place, which is old. So I would assume they have something newer than this. Okay, so this is called Star Wars program, which is a SDI, or a Strategic Defense Initiative. So see, a Strategic Defense Initiative, Esau is always the aggressor. He's always on the offensive, meaning he's the one that starts the battle. They have a term called peacekeepers. Let me see if I can bring that out. Peace troops. The internet's a little slow. See, peacekeeper troops, that's the UN, right? This is part of the beast, the United Nations, the UN. So they have their troops called the peacekeepers. And because of the name, you would think that they're going to bring peace. Well, really, their job is not to bring peace, it's to bring war. Their job is to bring peace to the elites. In other words, when they send these troops in, they have to make sure that the area is hospitable, all resistance has been laid down, and it's a peaceful environment for the elites to start building. Same thing with the police officers, to protect and serve. The police officers are known for laying people out and taking lives. So to protect and to serve, that's misleading. But really it's not, because they're there to protect and serve the interests of the elites. So they need to lay down any opposition that goes against the interests of the elites. This is why they have the Rothschild badge or shield on their uniforms. Right? As so. We'll look up the Rothschild shield, the crest. See? Same thing. So the police officers are the security force of the Rothschilds. They're not there to protect and serve you. Okay, so going back to the topic, so they built this Star Wars program, which was a proposed missile defense system intended to protect the United States from attack by ballistic strategic nuclear weapons and intercontinental ballistic missiles. So the Star Wars system, when they built this, and this was an initiative, or NASA is part of this, and people think that NASA is just a space exploration. It is, but really NASA is a military defense program for the elites. And NASA was created to observe, to gather intel and data on the angels in outer space, and to form a suitable defense or war system against them, which there is no suitable war defense system against the angels. Okay, but this is their attempt, the Star Wars program. And like I said, this is this was built in conceptualized in the 80s. The concept was announced on March 23rd, 1983 by President Ronald Reagan, a vocal critic of the doctrine. Okay, so we don't have to read that. So President Reagan made a speech, which I have here, and I'm going to play some of it, where he made a, I won't say a decree, but he made a speech and said, look, all nations, we have to put our differences aside if we face a common threat. There's a term out there that Esau has, and it says, it goes like this: the enemy of my enemy is my friend. So let me just play this. I'm going to jump around. I'm not going to play this whole thing. It's a little long. Let me start at about 1 minute.
So too in the highlands and coastal cities of southern Africa, Gulf and Afghanistan. So too in the Halabja, Medashar,
Yeah, my internet's a little slow. Slack it.
Doc.
I got a lot of tabs open.
There is today hope of peace in the Persian Gulf and Afghanistan. So too in the highlands and coastal cities of southern Africa.
Hey, brother, I'm sorry.
Places of civil war.
I got a lot of tabs
Places
open.
of occupation by foreign troops. Talk of peace is heard. For the first time, the differences between East and West, fundamental differences over important moral questions dealing with the worth.
Now he's talking about peace to the nations. Now remember what the Lord said: when they shall say peace and safety, then sudden destruction falleth upon them. All right. Now I'm gonna let me play a little bit. Matter of fact, let me take a pause from here. Now what this is, excuse me, brothers and sisters, what this is this New World Order is a continuation of what Nimrod started with. What Nimrod attempted to do is he built the Tower of Babel, and the reason why is because Nimrod was attempting that if the Most High ever, because the Most High destroyed the world by flood, so Nimrod thought to himself, if the Most High ever attempted that again, that he would escape by building this tower that reached up to heaven. This is nothing but the continuation of the new world, of this world order. That was the old world order. This is a new world order, meaning it's the same order, but they're trying it again. And this was the symbolism of knocking down the WTCs and building a new one, because that was the symbolism of the old ways going away and bringing in the new ways. That was the symbolism by resurrecting a brand new. They had to destroy the old and resurrect the new. That was a Masonic ceremony, as Masonic symbolisms to it. Excuse me. So what Nimrod did is he brought all the nations together. This is what President Reagan is talking about. And so what the Most High did is he changed their languages so that they could not communicate with each other. Now, the way Esau is doing this today is, number one, is the new Tower of Babel are space stations. Space stations in orbit. So again, one of the jobs of NASA was for them to go back and forth to outer space to build their future homes. That's why they sent all the astronauts up there. And you see the different movies they have where they live in outer space. Now this goes into Obadiah. I'm not, you brothers know all these scriptures, so I'm not going to go to them. But when the scriptures say that they shall build their nest in the heavens, that's in Obadiah. Thus I will bring them down. Well, this is what it's talking about. And this is where the elites are going to try to go when the Third World War has begun. They're going to try to run up in these stations, and they're going to take the the highest of the diplomats, or those are the other nations with them, whoever the kings are, the most important, they're going to take them with them in these space stations to survive the war. Matter of fact, let me just go to it. Let me see. Let me just go to Obadiah. Oh no, I want the book of Obadiah. Let's do it this way. Let me see. Like this. Verse 4, though thou exalt thyself as an eagle, that's what they said when they landed on the moon. They said the eagle has landed. And though thou set thy nest among the stars, thence will I bring thee down, saith the Lord. And what does it mean? Set thy nest, meaning they set a home there among the stars in outer space. And this is where the satellites orbit. That is their new home, what they believe to be their new home. And they got it all decked out, laid out, and everything for them to go there. But the Lord said, thence will I bring thee down, saith the Lord. Now, if you go in the book of Psalms, it says this, Psalms 149 and 7 says, to execute vengeance upon the heathen and punishments upon the people, to bind their kings with chains and their nobles with fetters of iron. So the Most High, by this time, the Most High is going to send the angels after them, or the Most High will send the elect, give the elect supernatural bodies, because we're not going to need space suits to travel out of space. The Most High is going to give us, or fit us with new angelic bodies, which will be able to go into outer space, and we're going to have chariots to travel in, with what they call UFOs. Okay, so let me backtrack where I was at. Slack here. Okay, so so let me go here. So that's the new Tower of Babel, and the language, right? So the way they solve that is, if now they saw that with the internet, computer algorithm. When everybody's on a digital system, that takes away the need to speak other languages. You talk through a digital system. You talk through the computer. I got Google right now. You can go to Google Translate, and it'll translate your language into any other language in the world. So that solves a problem with not being able to speak the same language. So they're trying to outdo the Most High. They're building this tower. They have AI. They have the computers working for them now. But the Most High is going to take them down anyway. Now, what I want to show you here is the EU building. Okay, because the EU building is United Nations. EU building. What I want, Tower Babel. I want to show you something to prove what I'm saying. Here it is. Oh, it even says it, Europe's new Tower of Babel, Financial Times, and it's shaped just like the ancient Tower of Babel. There you go. See that? So you see, Esau never left that spirit. This is how we know who Esau is. Cain, John 8:44, since Cain, he was a deceiver, a liar, a murderer from the beginning. That's why the scripture says that there's no person more profane than Esau, because this is a legitimate defying of the Most High. Now, this is blasphemy. This is blasphemy of the Holy Spirit. Esau is literally defying the Most High. Okay, the Most High destroyed the ancient world. He thinks he's really gonna defeat the Lord, and he built a brand new Tower of Babel. Now they should have a side by side. Here we go. Here it is side by side. See? Hey, what should we design the European Union HQ, which means headquarter building, to look like? The Tower of Babel. You mean the one where all the nations of earth tried to work together and failed, and God, the Most High, killed them all and sent them to hell? Yeah, that's the one. Perfect. So Esau is just in total defiance to same spirit. Okay. So here I have footage of the Star Wars system trying to shoot down a chariot. Now watch. So this is going to give you an idea of how successful they might be. So let's play it. Can I make this bigger? Let me see. Hold on. See if I can make this a little bigger. Okay, so hopefully this plays. Oh yeah, here we go. Now look here. See right there? That's a chariot. And you're going to see the Star Wars. See it's moving. And there's a laser beam. Boom. You saw that laser beam? The chariot, now the laser beam is light. Laser beam travels as fast as the speed of light. So when you flick a light switch on and you see the light, that's how fast his laser beam was traveling. And the chariot just dodged it before the light even had a chance to get to it. Let's watch that again. There's a chariot. Boom, you saw the flash. And there goes a laser beam. I mean, it didn't even come close. There goes a close-up. Chariot's right there. Watch the laser beam's gonna come out. It's gone. There goes the laser beam. It's already gone. Okay? So now you see what's gonna come back with fire.
Your friends are
gonna try to burn the Lord with fire, shoot lasers at him. So he's gonna say, oh, word, I'm gonna show you how it's really done. Okay, so let's go back to
the
this.
Individual, and whether governments shall control people. There's the prospect of not only a new era in Soviet-American relations, but a new age of world peace. For such reform,
new age means new world order.
History teaches, and my country has always believed, that where the rights of the individual and the people are enshrined, war is a distant prospect. For it is not people who make war among nations, a dream that began the United Nations. Precisely because of these changes today, the United Nations has the opportunities can be. We salute you.
If I can't find
between
it,
the Soviets and ourselves,
I'm just gonna
more than an academic exercise. Had the first of several fireside chats. Exchanges characterized by frankness, but friendliness too.
Let's see. Let me try to find it again. If not, then let's see this one. I can't find it then.
Thank you all very much. Be a quarter of a century old.
Yeah, whatever.
Testing an extendable solar power array.
Okay. Oh, here we go.
In our obsession with antagonisms of the moment, we often forget how much unites all the members of humanity. Perhaps we need some outside universal threat to make us recognize this common bond.
Now, I'll say this, brothers and sisters, right? They have something called Project Bluebeam, and I believe that they're going to use Project Bluebeam to fake a so-called alien invasion, because again, they need to generate a cause for their next move, and they need to have the people ride alongside with them. So before the Lord comes, I believe that they're going to fake an alien invasion with the Project Bluebeam. You know, we don't know exactly how it's going to go down. We can speculate, but we know something to that effect is going to happen.
I occasionally think how quickly our differences worldwide would vanish if we were facing an alien threat from outside this world. And yet I ask you, is not an alien force already among us? What could be more alien to the universal aspirations of our peoples than war?
Okay, so then further on, this speech was in 1983, and this is a speech that kicked off the Star Wars system, right? And later on in the speech, Reagan starts talking about the space defense system, blah blah blah. So we read Revelation 12. So let me see if I could find the. Damn, I can't do I just want the Apocrypha. Is the Apocrypha in here? The Apocrypha is supposed to be. Oh, there it goes. Okay, Slacker, give me a second, brothers. Yeah. I think it's 2nd Ezra 16. Give me a second here. Maybe it's 15. Yeah, maybe it's 15. I always get it confused. 15 or 16. Nope. Okay, hold on. Hold up. Excuse me. I should know this off the top of my head, actually. Hold on. Okay, 13. Okay, 2nd Ezra 13. So it says in verse 3, and I beheld, and lo, that man waxed strong with the thousands of heaven. Now, this is Revelation 12. This is going into more detail. And this is what they're gearing for. This is the whole reason why they had the, what we saw, which was a laser beam system, Star Wars, was to fight against this that's going to happen. And this is when they're all going to, just like Reagan said is going to happen, they're all going to join forces to fight against the Lord. Okay. And I beheld, and lo, that man waxed strong with the thousands of heaven. And when he turned his countenance to look, that's Yahweh Shai, the man, all the things trembled that were seen unto him. And whensoever the voice went out of his mouth, all they burned that heard his voice. That's talking about the laser beams coming out to chariot. Like as the earth faileth when it feeleth the fire. Because that's all laser is. Laser is concentrated fire. It's like when you take a magnifying glass and you put it underneath the sun, and it concentrates the heat on one small area. Yeah. And after this, I beheld, and lo, there was gathered together a multitude of men out of number from the four winds of the heaven. And this is what Reagan was talking about, that there were a common threat, that they would all come together, would put the differences aside and all come together. The enemy of my enemy is my friend. Lo, there was gathered together a multitude of men out of number from the four winds of the heaven to subdue Yahushai, the man that came out of the sea. But I beheld, and lo, he had graved himself a great mountain and flew upon it. That's the fathership chariot. Okay. How do I get this whole 6? I'm gonna jump verse 8. And after this I beheld, and lo, all they which were gathered together, so they joined forces to subdue him, were afraid, and yet durst fight. And lo, as he saw the violence of the multitude that came, because they're going to come with everything they got, all their high-tech weaponry, the laser defense system, like I said, that's old. They started that in 1983. We're in 2023 now. So they've got stuff we don't even know about. Antimatter weapons, all types of stuff. And lo, as he saw the violence of the multitude that came, they're going to fail miserably. You saw the footage. He's going to make a joke out of them. He neither lifted up his hand, nor held sword, nor any instrument of war. But only I saw that he sent out of his mouth, as it had been a blast of fire, and out of his lips a flaming breath, and out of his tongue he cast out sparks and tempest. And they were all mixed together, the blast of fire, the flaming breath, and the great tempest, and fell with violence upon the multitude which was prepared to fight, and burned them up, every one, so that upon a sudden of an innumerable multitude nothing was to be perceived, but only dust and smell of smoke. When I saw this, I was sore afraid. Okay? So, how do I make slack here? Boom, there we go. So that's it with the lesson, I think, brothers and sisters. With that, I'm going to say shalom. All praises to Yahweh, Ba'ashim, Yahushai, Ba'Hashem, Rakakwadash. A to the next one, shalom.